You may recognize this setting from some of my previous videos. I am curled up in bed today to create this video, bringing back a topic that I've covered briefly some time back. Today I'm going to talk to you about the experience of anxiety. I don't know if you can hear, but my stomach is making all kinds of noises right now, which tells you something of how much nervousness and things I have about speaking about this, but I'm determined to do it anyway. So for me, I've been going through anxiety issues for some time now. The video I made earlier this year, or the end of last year, was kind of my first conscious experience of anxiety. I was going through some issues with my heart rate and keeping my breathing under control and some other issues along those sorts of lines, and I thought those were the only experiences I was having with anxiety. But in the last couple of weeks, up to about the last 6 weeks, I've had some of those same serious symptoms come back. I've had several months of steady health. My breathing and my heart rate and everything else has been pretty good, aside from what it would normally be like with my muscular dystrophy. But as I said, in the last 6 weeks to a month, I've started having these same sorts of severe issues again, and so I started to do a bit more research than I had done the last time I started having these issues, and I started finding all of these videos from other people on YouTube and online through mental health and support websites who are talking about their experiences. It's made me realise that these issues are probably a lot bigger and a lot broader than I first gave them credit. I think it's something that has been affecting me for a lot longer and in a lot more ways than I initially understood. Yeah, so all of these things that I've been going through have been a lot more sneaky in terms of their effects than I first thought. There were a lot of things that I discounted as being due to my muscular dystrophy or changes in my overall health or some other sort of situation, or some other sort of cause. But if the information and experiences that I've heard from other people are actually the same as in my case, then a lot of the things that I've been going through could possibly be associated with my anxiety issues. So, as a way of dealing with that, I'm going back to counselling. I am doing a lot more research and reading into things that I can do, trying to understand what's going on as best I can, and I think I'm making very gradual progress, but it's definitely going to be a long-term exercise to get this under control. YouTube is a hugely valuable resource for people going through transitions, changes, issues. I mean, seriously, it's connected to the second largest search engine on the internet. So basically anything you're trying to figure out, you can probably find a perspective or information on it. That is where I went when I wanted to find out information and experiences around anxiety. I know there are a lot of people in my own community, in person, who I could go to, but the internet is generally less imposing when you're trying to figure things out to start with. So I started by watching videos from other YouTubers who deal with some form of anxiety, whether it's social anxiety or situational anxiety or chronic anxiety, whatever it is. And I'll put some links to some of those YouTubers who I found really insightful and helpful below this video. I also used it to try and find some resources to help me really understand the science behind my situation, and also to look at ways that I could help myself to minimise the impact, because although we're usually as individuals able to come up with ways of dealing with it and coping strategies, they're not always the most effective, and it's always going to have a bit of input from other people who are in the same boat, or people who are professionals and trained to understand and deal with these kinds of things. So I've looked at relaxation techniques and awareness techniques and all these other things. So I'll also include some links to those things as well, and some local services to New Zealand. So if any of my New Zealand viewers are going through these sorts of things, hopefully some of those resources will be helpful to you as well. This is one of those things that can be really scary to deal with. It's not always obvious that it's actually something like anxiety. Sometimes it can even be scary to contemplate that there's something wrong, but I think it's really, really important that you seek help and talk about these things with people, because you're not crazy, I'm not crazy, we're not crazy, and things can be a lot better if we seek help and take steps to address what's going on. So until next time, take care, be safe, keep smiling, and I'll talk to you next time. Oh wait, and by the way, if you haven't already checked out my link to my Amazon book, Not Always Lost, it's on sale in paperback and ebook form, or you can find me on Facebook at the community page Hidden Meets World. Okay, take care, bye!